Tonight, Kevin Falcon was in Prince George today, as John Rustad also made a major platform announcement. Plus, the President and Vice-Chancellor of UNBC has been renewed for a second term. And the Prince George Kodiaks have high hopes for their new quarterback at the helm this season. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. We begin tonight in provincial politics. The campaign has begun in earnest in BC, with the provincial election just 3 months away. And today, one issue was top of mind for the leaders of both the United Party and the Conservative Party. And both of them have the same message for healthcare. Cheryl Jan has tonight's top story.
Healthcare was top of mind for two political leaders, the BC United leader Kevin Falcon and the BC Conservative leader John Rustad. Both leaders built their messages on putting patients' care first.
We're going to get them treated. And if that means treated in a private clinic, publicly funded, we'll make sure they get that treatment. If that means we have to send them outside of the province, we'll send them outside of the province. But we are going to put the interests of patients first, not the system first.
And that was the same message from the BC Conservative leader Rustad.
We've been talking about this healthcare model for about 7-8 months now. And it's particularly important making sure that patients come first in all the decisions. Patients come first in terms of where the funding flows, so it's a patient funding model, but also looking at universal healthcare models that are in Europe, which are delivered by both government and non-government services, which put patients at the center of what decision-making you're making.
The announcement today is one that has been talked about for years in this region. There needs to be a new surgical tower, and it can't come soon enough.
That we are going to move forward and build a new patient care tower at the University Hospital of Northern BC. We will make sure it includes a cardiac care center of excellence. We will also make sure it includes a helipad to ensure that we can get patients to the hospital and to and from the hospital to the Lower Mainland or to Kelowna as quickly as we possibly can.
Health critic Shirley Bond says for whatever reason, Victoria refuses to see University Hospital of Northern BC as a referral centre, and the time to act is now.
I speak from personal experience on how difficult it is for families who have to manage through those circumstances. So I am very proud of the fact that we intend to get that job done.
And as part of the BC United's plan to build a surgical tower at University Hospital of Northern BC is to find the ways and means to fill it.
But what always stands out to me in the North is how the willingness of people to step up and make a difference. And one of the ways I know that we can do that is through training.
Falcon says another very simple way to ensure more healthcare professionals are back in northern facilities is to hire back those who were fired during the pandemic. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
Speaking from the BC Wildfire airstrip in Kamloops today, BC's Emergency Management Minister Bowen Ma provided the latest around the ever-growing wildfire season. And despite much of the attention of late being in the southern interior, the BC Wildfire Service says that every region is still at risk.
With 1,300 lightning strikes and record-breaking heat, the southern interior is the most recent site of concern.
We have nearly 800 firefighting personnel on the ground working to keep British Columbians safe, and we are incredibly grateful to have Australian and New Zealand specialists join them in this fight this weekend.
Luckily, reinforcements have arrived from all corners, such as air tankers from Alaska and the Yukon, and it doesn't end there.
We have called in, as Minister Moss stated, we have called in for additional support from Australia and New Zealand. That's in the form of incident management teams and highly trained and highly certified individuals that can support us on these fires if they do get a little bit bigger than initial attack. In addition to that, we've also put in requests for more crews to come and support us on the ground. I think what's different this year than previous years is that we have much more engagement with communities and their firefighting resources through the Cooperative Community Firefighting Program.
In emergencies, we need everyone to pull together, and my ministry will continue to work to better support local governments and First Nations as they keep their communities safe. I want to close off by reminding everyone that now is the time to ensure that you are prepared for any emergency, in particular wildfire.
More lightning and wind are expected this coming weekend, and that could change the wildfire landscape once again.
For all of British Columbians, my message is be diligent. We are going to see lightning. We saw 1,300 lightning strikes yesterday, many of which started fires in the Southeast Fire Center, and we'll pick up more today. With lightning, we're also going to see wind. And so we need everyone in BC to do diligent. And if you're on an evacuation order, please leave so that we can do response in that area.
In anticipation of dangerous weather conditions, Cliff Chapman says the BC Wildfire Service has stepped up their response preparedness across all zones to ensure they're able to get initial attacks underway quickly. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
UNBC's Board of Governors have reappointed Dr. Jeff Payne to a second term as President and Vice-Chancellor of the university. Adam Burrows spoke with Dr. Payne on the successes and the challenges from his first term and what he looks forward to in the second.
Dr. Jeff Payne arrived at UNBC 20 years ago in 2004 and was a founding faculty member of the UBC Northern Medical Program. Payne's journey as an academic, researcher, and administrator came to a head in February 2020 when he was appointed interim president.
18 days after coming on as president, COVID hit, and so that was certainly a massive challenge for the institution. I think just continuing to work with the university community, make sure that we were moving forward as an institution, building those positive relationships, looking and ensuring that we were financially stable as an institution.
In the spring, UNBC's Board of Governors struck a committee to review Dr. Payne's performance and evaluate the potential for reappointment.
Jeff's track record speaks for itself on where we've gone over the last number of years as a university, and not only our relationships on campus, but throughout the North, and our performance as a post-secondary institution, not just in British Columbia, but I think Canada-wide. So in that sense, it was a really easy decision. But I don't want to discount the fact that there was also a really robust process.
Payne's new term will begin on June 28, 2025 and will end on June 27, 2030. And for his second term, Dr. Payne says that UNBC's strategic plan will be a strong guide going forward.
With the strategic plan that we now have in place, it's using that to really continue to move the university's mission and mandate forward, continue to work with the university community, ensure that students know that we are a place for them to start and build a foundation for their academic journey, working with our amazing faculty and staff, and continue to work with our community.
And when it comes to Dr. Payne's role as President and Vice-Chancellor, one thing stands out.
The quality of his connections with people, his relationships, his communication skills. You don't always find that in a president of a post-secondary institution, but I think Jeff's, the quality of his character has played out extraordinarily well on campus, not only in relationships with our faculty and our staff and our students, but I think broadly too.
I'm just happy to roll up my sleeves and continue to work with the university, and that will be my sort of mantra going into my second term. UNBC is a great place with great people, and we are a community.
Adam Burrows, CKPG News.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is sitting at $1.62.9 per litre at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Abbotsford at $1.56.9 per litre. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.42 per litre, while BC has an average price of $1.72.9 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit dominos.ca to join the club.
The Prince George Kodiak season opener is just 2 days away, and the team will look to improve on last year's season. And one of their new players is a new quarterback who's projected to start under center. Anthony Correa caught up with Sawyer Tess about the transition to the BC Football Conference.
As the season opener nears for the Prince George Kodiaks, the team continues to solidify their roster. A new face to Kodiaks fans this year is quarterback Sawyer Tess, who committed from the University of Manitoba. A no-brainer decision for the signal caller.
It was one of those decisions where Coach Borum, he made it, a little too easy. Like the way he just, hyped up the program on the phone, and coming out here for spring camp, things just clicked, and guys are great. It's a great environment they have here in the locker room. So, things just kind of went as they may, and here I am.
Last year, the Kodiaks had a carousel of quarterbacks start under center. Now the hope is that Thiessen can steady the ship for a team looking to make the jump this season.
He's different. He's played at a higher level, and he's bringing some experience. He's bringing some leadership, and we need that on the offensive side of the ball. He's fundamentally sound. I think the best thing that we're going to get is when we see him on game day. He's a gamer. He competes, and that's really what sets him apart.
For Thiessen, he's been welcomed by his new teammates and is counting down the days when he takes the field in the black and yellow in front of a sold-out crowd.
I'm just a guy that loves playing football. So on game day, I'm just going to go out there and have fun. When the play breaks down, I like to kind of make things happen, make a little magic happen is what, my high school teammates would say. But yeah, you know what? We're just going to go out and perform our best as a group. And as an offense, we're just going to move the ball and give the defense a rest. And it's going to be fun on game days, that's for sure.
The Kodiak's home opener is on July 20th at Message Place Stadium versus the VI Raiders. Anthony Correa, CKPG News.
You know who else is a guy who loves playing football? This guy, Anthony Correa, on his Xbox, at least. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit about this Kodiak's team. Big weekend coming up, home opener. We just saw there a new quarterback at the helm, so some high hopes for this team. I mean, last year, Anthony, it was a revolving door of quarterbacks. It got dark a little bit towards the end of the season. They had a receiver standing in there. Just no sort of direction for the position. So where do they go this year? Do you think that there's going to be more stability now having Thiessen in that quarterback spot?
I mean, that's the hope around Kodiak's camp and, I guess Kodiak supporters. It's unfortunate last year they couldn't find a for sure starter. I mean, Sam Sabin and Quinn Newcomb were, kind of battling it out. Neither one could lock down the role. And then, yes, a receiver in there as well. So bringing in Sawyer kind of solidifies it. He's projected to be the week 1 starter. We'll see when the team runs out if he will be under there. But, as you saw, he's excited for this opportunity. From the University of Manitoba he comes, and, he's much more experienced than maybe some of the other BC FC quarterbacks. And, he's a pretty chipper guy. I mean, his teammates already love him, or at least that's what I saw. Looking around training camp, always friendly, giving out handshakes, giving some pointers as well, and he has a pretty nice touch on the ball. So, the Kodiaks should be excited to, hopefully find that quarterback of the future, and we'll see when the VI Raiders come to town if the questions will be answered there.
Yeah, because the defense performed very well last year.
Yes, they did.
Couldn't generate enough points, so hopefully that'll improve this season. What else have you seen hanging out at training camp this week?
Training camp, it was pretty good for them, and I think the big thing is the continuity. It's just the year over where you haven't lost a whole lot of players. The younger guys are getting a little more experience. The older guys are, kind of hitting their prime, to say. And it's just the continuity where guys don't need to learn the offense. They already kind of know it. It gets picked up quick. And when you know the offense, you can focus on other things like fundamentals as well, and not just the playbook. So, it's the continuity. Like I've said, Jamie Borum has these guys going. And, despite the hot weather, every single one of those players was I guess really loved being out on that field, beating down the heat. It's football season. They're all excited to be back. And like I said, excited for week 1 to roll around there.
So let me get a prediction here on how many games this team's going to win. We mentioned not a great season last year, but it's a 10-game season.
Yep.
How many wins are you thinking? Can they go 500 this year?
I think that is the goal. I think I would smash the over on 4 wins. I think they can at least get 5. If, there's not much betting for the BCFC, not that, we encourage that here, but yes, I think at least 5 wins for the Kodiaks this year. I mean, it really depends on that quarterback and if the defense can continue to take strides. So, I think 5 wins. And, if the quarterback works out, sky's the limit for this team.
Smash the over, says the role model.
The role model,
Correa.
of course.
Anthony, thank you very much for that
one more
insight.
thing, Eddie. Go Kodiaks.
Oh, here we go. There you go.
Week 1 win. I'm guaranteeing a week 1 win.
Guaranteed. You heard it here first, Anthony Correa, folks. And we are going to go to break. The TSX is down 124 points to close at 22,727. The Dow Jones is down 533 points to close at 40,665. And Canfor went down 36 cents to close at $14.88.
few clouds rolling into the Prince George area throughout the afternoon, paired with that slight chance of showers alongside a slight risk of a thunderstorm as well. As we get further into the evening, though, it does start to taper off, especially as we get into those early morning hours on Friday. So looking at a clear start to the day on Friday after a little bit of more clouds we're seeing late Thursday afternoon. On that note, though, that slight chance of showers that is expected to continue and build in a little bit more as we get into late Friday afternoon. Not very strong, though. And then after that, Saturday, Sunday, looking at mostly clear conditions in terms of cloud cover throughout the weekend. Quite hot as well. Here's our highs tomorrow across BC. So Terrace looking at a high of 26. Prince George a little bit cooler tomorrow than what was seen today, but still quite hot at a high of 30 degrees. Valemount cooling off a little bit with a high of 25. Chance of thunderstorms in Fort St. John area with a high of 29. Kamloops still quite warm, a high of 38, still experiencing that heat wave. Okanagan very similar as well with a high of 36 tomorrow. Highs tomorrow across the rest of the broadcast region. Burns Lake looking at a high of about 27. Everywhere still looking quite hot, quite sunny. Vanderhoof again a high of 29. Fort St. James right around 28. Mackenzie area breaching the 30-degree mark. Prince George we have a high of 30 degrees for tomorrow. Quesnel still quite hot, 33 degrees for their high tomorrow. Highs across the rest of the country. Yellowknife quite hot with a high of 28 degrees. Even hotter in the Edmonton area. A high of 36 degrees for tomorrow. Sunny and hot for Regina as well. Winnipeg starting to see some instability there. Toronto area quite warm. A little bit drier though. A high of 25. Very similar for Montreal. Now St. John's and Halifax getting some cloud cover and a little bit cooler temperatures. Looking ahead, we are looking at a sunny weekend ahead. Saturday and Sunday forecast is showing so far mostly sunny conditions, mostly hot conditions, in particular on Sunday. So a lot of areas are expecting Sunday to kind of be the hottest day of the week so far. Tomorrow for Burns Lake, looking at a relatively sunny day, a high of 27 to start off the day on Friday. Saturday warming up, still getting loads of sunshine throughout. Sunday, a high of 29. So Saturday's high, 31 degrees. Mackenzie area tomorrow looking at a high of 30 degrees, very warm, mix of sun and cloud, mostly sunny weekend ahead as well. That temperature climbing up as the days get on. Look at that. Sunday, a high of 34 degrees for Mackenzie area. Tomorrow in the McBride area, expecting to start off the day with some sunshine. Slight risk of a thunder shower moving through the area though, especially as you get into that late afternoon. Tomorrow's high, 31 degrees paired with that. Clearing out though a little bit more on Saturday with a high of 33, and Sunday climbing up a scorching high of 38 degrees paired with mostly sunny conditions. Quesnel area looking partly sunny and hot tomorrow. A high of 33 degrees, a little bit warmer for Saturday. Sunday's when you're hitting that red zone with a high of 38 degrees and mostly sunny conditions. Prince George, we are in a very similar spot. So tomorrow, looking at a mostly sunny start to the day, a slight chance of showers in the afternoon, but that does taper off as we get into our weekend. So Saturday and Sunday looking mostly sunny, mostly hot. Saturday's high 33, Sunday climbing all the way up to a high of 37 degrees. So again, mostly sunny and hot weekend ahead.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
We continue with more news from Hockey Canada as another Prince George Cougar looks to make his mark with the program. Defenseman Carson Karls is one of 23 WHL players invited to Canada's National Under-17 Development Camp. Karls made his WHL debut with the Cougars last season, playing in 7 games, and he recorded 3 assists. He looks to be an important piece to the puzzle for the Cougars this season. The camp kicks off today in Oakville and provides an opportunity to impress Team Canada brass for the upcoming 2024 U17 World Challenge, and that will go in November. Sports are in a bit of a standstill right now. The NFL, the NHL, and the NBA are in their off seasons. CFL Week 7 action doesn't kick off until tomorrow, and the MLB, they're on the All-Star break. So that means we have a unique countdown as we show you some of the best racket sport shots from badminton, table tennis, and yes, pickleball in tonight's CKP3.
We begin with badminton.
Good flick.
There's a reason that Lee Zijia is one of the best in the world when the badminton racket is in his hands. The dive and precision is incredible. Next, an incredible rally.
Competitive racket from any player here in this event.
Unbelievable rally. Unbelievable. Isaac Quick will not be bullied.
That ball is traveling at extremely fast speeds, and both players go back and forth 16 times before one of them breaks. Finally, excellence on the pickleball court.
It's going to be a tough overhead. This is unbelievable. Look at Fed track this stuff down. He's there. No! Rico Stacksrud is the man.
Oh my goodness, Fed. I do not believe what I just saw.
If this doesn't make you appreciate pickleball, I don't know what will. A jaw-dropping rally which sees Federico Stacksrud take top spot in tonight's CKP3.
That's our show for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us as always, and we will see you tomorrow. Have yourself a great night.